Welcome to another edition of the State of the Igbo Nation series created by Njenje Media TV. Today we are privileged to have one of us, a seasoned media practitioner, as our guest, Dr. Law Mefor within us. Anwe Yago, you're welcome.
Thank you for hosting me. Thank you.
I know you will feel relaxed because this is a territory that you're so conversant with. So it is your territory. On this note, I would say, as we welcome you in this one-on-one conversation that will focus on the economic and developmental strides of Anambra State and their impact on the wider Igbo nation. Now, as we all know, Anambra State recently launched a security outfit under the theme of Operation Udogachi. We will also explore how peace and stability will serve as a foundation for the sustainable economic growth and development in Anambra State. And Anambra State has consistently positioned itself as a leader in the commerce, industry, and innovation. But what more is being done to drive investment, improve infrastructure in our state, and create economic opportunity for Anambra and for Alibo? These are questions, Posa, that we eventually explore. Dr. Mefor, as I said before, we provide insight to the government vision of ongoing projects, the strategic policies aimed at fostering a more prosperous future, as the governor usually want to use the cliche, a more prosperous future and a livable state, with a focus on economic resilience, job creation, and infrastructure transformation. This conversation tonight would highlight how Anambra progress can serve as a model for the entire Igbo nation. Let's begin. Once more, Anwe Yago, ekenekwa me.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. And it's quite an opportunity to share the vision of the governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, and the new Anambra that is creating. So that's it's an opportunity. Let's begin. Let's talk about it.
Thank you very much. Now I would start by starting. It's been a couple of months. You found yourself under the saddle, in your new role. The question is, how has life been treating you since you obviously moved from living in Abuja and living permanently in Anambra State, dedicating your time to service?
I will summarize my experience thus far as challenging and exciting. Speaking for the government of Anambra State, it's a bigger task. And here you have to be the alter ego of the governor, a professor, a seasoned economist, a former central bank governor, and now the governor of Anambra State. You really have to be on top of your game because he is so many things rolled up in one, and you just have to be in a position to mirror all that to the public. And when I came in, like I said, a lot of perception and reputation management issues were out there in plain sight. And this is my fifth month in the new assignment. And so far, like I said, exciting, challenging. It's my forte. It's not, we welcome challenges, and that is our training. We are trained to be resilient and to accept the challenges as they come. So since I assumed the position, I have tried hard enough to reposition the public perception of the Soludo government, trying to push out his achievements out there to the public, promoting his good works, and shaping perception, ensuring good reputation for both the governor and the government. The governor has done fantastically well, and in so many areas. In fact, without sounding immodest, I think that Soludo has matched word for action. He has walked the talk. He has been able to deliver on his campaign promises and manifesto. You know, by the time we begin to take these issues apart, you can see what I mean, that I'm not just hyping him, I am stating the obvious. And even his detractors and opposition political parties acknowledging the fact that he has done remarkably well. And we're harping on insecurity. And that aspect also is being confronted head on with the launching of Operation Odogachi. You know, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me start by asking. Anambra is known for its entrepreneurial spirit.
Correct.
Are there specifics, policies that are in place to support local businesses, traders, industrialists, especially in light of the Nigerian current economic challenges?
Yeah, there are many policies. First, for industrialization of Anambra State, there is a master plan already for what you call a mixed use industrial city of Anambra. And contracts have been awarded for the basic infrastructure needed in the place and social amenities like light, road, and so on and so forth. And the place stretches from Oboji further into Anambra South. It's quite a big stretch. You know, so the boulevard contract has been awarded, and everything industry can now be sited there. What is now left is for people to begin to take parcels of the land that will suit the kind of industries they want to bring in. This is one. Then we have intentionally, through policies and their implementations, targeted commerce and industry. There is a loan scheme in place to help people recapitalize their businesses. People who are, you know, specifically small and medium scale industries, like the traders, the businessmen you find, can access up to 10 million naira. And what is unique about this loan is that it's without collateral. All that is required is for you to bring somebody that is reputable enough to guarantee that he knows you. So unlike the bank loans that would require you to bring a CFO of your land and all that, this is given without collateral. So it is unique. People are accessing it. And the government is also targeting what you call employment creation through acquisition of skills. We have a scheme we call One Youth, Two Program, One Youth, Two Skills. You know, is to enable the youths add their skills to their certificates. And even those who do not have certificates can acquire skills ranging from agriculture to ICT. And so far, over 10,000 youths have been trained, and they have accessed not only skills, but also the startups and the funds that have enabled them to start doing something on their own. This is another level of it. Then for technology and digital skill acquisition particularly, the government of Soludo created what we call Solution Innovation District, SEED. Here, everything about digital learning is housed, and over 25,000, I wouldn't say in the Anambra, I would say, because when I say in the Anambra, it would mean that only indigenes of Anambra State can access these facilities. No, as long as you live in Anambra State, you will benefit. And many that are not from Anambra State are part of this digital learning. And ranging from coding to full-blown digital skill acquisition, you now have a kind of a tribe of youths that are experts in digital learning and skills, and they are useful to us in Anambra, and they are also exportable abroad. And to understand the kind of digital skill I am talking about here, if you go to a place like Lagos and would want to acquire such a digital learning, you will have to pay between 3 to 4 million naira. And guess how much we charge the youths in Anambra to teach them? The Solution Innovation District is charging nothing. That means Anambra youths are trained free of charge. And it doesn't stop there. They are mentored even after graduation. They are given starter packs like laptops and so on and so forth to begin to launch into the future in pursuit of their own happiness. And, you also would want to look at the infrastructure as an enabler of economic development. Anambra is a construction site. There's no part of Anambra State that one form of a development project is not going on, one form or the other. Particularly roads, about 700 kilometers of roads are awarded, about 400 already completed, asphalted at the use. And I can go on and on and on. So you can see that for industrialization, the foundation is laid or is being laid, and building has actually commenced. And of course, in the last summit we had about industrialization in Anambra State, many MOUs were signed, and a couple of them are already moving to site. So I think Anambra is rising. Things are looking up.
Okay. If we piggyback a little bit, when the government of Soludo came in, promises were made, or rather during the campaign, promises were made regarding the Igbo boy, or rather the formalization of Igbo boy. I think maybe I'm missing the point. Up to now, I have not necessarily heard any concrete thing regarding that particular thing that Igbo are known for, the Igbo boy scheme. How is Anambra State government formalizing that and giving it a proper structure?
Well, in fact, a few days ago, there was a kind of formalization of Igbo boy, and over 1,000 Anambra youths who are in trade, in particular trade and commerce, gathered. And they gathered for training.
I think maybe we
So we have started in that direction. Igbo boy is taking up seriously now. And I will send you some documents to this effect so that you will see how far we have gone in formalizing Igbo boy. And incidentally, during the Soludo transition committee meetings, I was privileged to chair the Inclusive Growth Committee. And there we talked about this Igbo boy and suggested the ways it will be implemented. Government is on it already. Like I said, 2-3 days ago, there was a conference of some traders, youthful traders, who gathered in Oka. And the gathering was about Igbo boy. It was a reorientation program to enable them begin to add digital skills, modern ways of doing things to what they are doing at the moment.
Ndị na-agba boy ka ndị ọga, because ka iweta ihe one thing,
they are not ndị ọga, they are people who are boy, they are homo boy.
Okay.
Yes, they are homo boy.
Now,
so they were brought together for orientation.
Okay. So, you know, pardon many of us who may not necessarily have grasped the way it works. Mana,
yes.
Asina akodolu egedolu. Kedu ka mmadụ abụ na mpụta nsị kịta na mụ bụ Maazị Ezoka na enwe nwa bụ onye na-abụ. Kedu ka gọọmenti Anambra si alụkọ with ndị ọga iji wee sị na ọ bụrụ na nwatakịrị a mesịa afọ 5 na mụ bụ Maazị Ezoka ga-enye ya ego one dị otu a na Anambra steeti ga-atụkwasịla, because no mgbe a na-ekwu unless ma na mụ bụ onye aghọtasịrị, mgbe a na-ekwu okwu formalization, mụnwa chelu na ọ bụ gọọmenti bịa, ọ bụ na nwatakịrị gbasịa bụ enwere ike ọ bụrụ na ọga ya ga-eji 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 million wee duo ya, gọọmenti asịzi oke ọga ọ bụrụ na ị ga-sign undertaking, and anyị nwabụzi gọọmenti nwekwa ike inye ya another 5 or 10 million loan, mepeli akaụntụ ebe anyị ya nwee ike nwee joint account, ọ na-akwụnye ego ya na-afụ ka o si eme. Oluo na mgbede once every week or every Saturday ọbịa akụzieli ya mathematics, kụzieli ya ITC, kụzieli ya Excel, kụzieli ya ka esi use ledger, you know, some bookkeeping, or how to do invoice with a mobile phone and send them. So I don't know. So what I'm still not kedu ihe concrete ihe government mego for the past 2 years, for the past 3 years, you know, almost. Iji si, okay, ne nke a bụ nke dịka isi wee kwe na nkwa na ebe anyị nọ with ụmụ boy. I mean, a na-enwe inwe seminar with ndị ntorobịa. Nke a ndị mmadụ ya sị na ọ dị normal. Mana specific.
It's not what we did with them wasn't a seminar. It was a reorientation program. It wasn't just a seminar.
Okay.
It was a reorientation program to get them to understand what they should be doing, not only helping themselves as homo boy, but also what they can bring into the trade itself to help their masters, for their masters to be able to help them. And, you know, so we have started along that path, where it has to do with empowerment, right? I already told you about a credit scheme where one can access up to 10 million naira without a collateral. That is open to them too, who have graduated from the Igbo boy scheme. And I'm not sure that we have drawn a format of you know, how to relate with the organs who have taken these younger ones. I'm not sure of that. I will need to talk to, the Commissioner, Patrick Agamba, on this. I'll get back to you so you can share with your secretary. Yes, we share with your secretary some of these specifics. We need to know if he has entered into some kind of understanding with Ndioga and extracting commitments of what they ought to do when these ones graduate, and then what the government should specifically do to be able to help in making the Igbo boy more interesting. The idea is to, you know, what the government is actually aiming at is to transform Igbo boy and make it more modern. Make it more modern, acquisition of some basic digital skills that will help commerce, not just Igbo API alone, buying and selling. We need to take it a bit, a notch higher. That is part of what government is doing at the moment. I believe that these specifics you have mentioned, they were part of our recommendations. And I believe that government, if it hasn't gotten to that point yet, will get there eventually, because the governor is quite upbeat about the issue of Igbo boy. He believes that he has helped us, which is true, in a breaking what you may call a generational poverty transfer. And the young ones that are mentored by some well-to-do, many of them have been able to escape poverty. And as they did so, they helped their own families to escape poverty. So it's a concept that has to be deepened. And I read here and there that the Igbo boy has been adjudged, even by the Harvard Business School, as a business incubation engine. So it's something that, if well modernized, the way the Anambra state government is going about it, will help in how do I really put it? You know, I believe that if nothing is done, Igbo boy may really vanish as a process, because many younger ones are no longer seeing that as interesting. And many in the Oga also are preferring now to hire sales girls and sales girls mainly, rather than take any one boy. So some of these things require renegotiation to save that process, because it has helped in Igbo. We cannot allow it to die. And I believe that that is your concern also.
Yes.
So I will share some of your thoughts with the commissioner for youths, who is the process owner, and then bring you some documents that
we might also get the commissioner the way anyị again akpa anyị ka ọ kọwakwala anyị maka na ụmụ ihe niile a bụ mgbe a na-eme campaign, people got excited mgbe a na-ekwu ihe ndị a. Ụfọdụ asị na onye ndị ghọtara ife a na-ekwu abịagwu ka agbapịa ya bụ okwu ọnụ. So mana masị gị da mere anyị ji agụcha ntị ka anyị malụ ma ka ife evo ekwu ọ bụkwa etu esi ekwu ka o si wee dị. Mana nsogbu adịrị, anyị ga-agbapị ọsọ. Ihe ị gwara anyị bụ na onwe ndị need loan up to 10 million na anyị enyeva metil na-enye m fọm mụọ efilikwu.
No, you can access it. I'm very serious about it. It's domiciled in the office of the Commissioner of Industries.
Okay.
I'll give you his contacts. Whoever needs to learn about this loan should get across to me, and I'll connect the person to the Commissioner of Industries to share the process of how to acquire such loan.
Onwelu maka ndị nene na onwelu ihe dịka website ebe ọ ga-abụ faje afu, because one of the questions that, like if we want to talk about accessing, or rather access to finance, Gaima remains a challenge for many small and medium sized enterprises, SMEs.
Yes.
The question, what is the government doing to facilitate funding and business-friendly policies for entrepreneurs in Anambra? Now, onwe ihe ikwu mgbe ị na-ekwu maka mana achọrọ m ka ịkọwakala na kedu ihe gọọmenti Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo na-eme specifically in this area, not only for ndị na-agba boy, mana onye ọbụla, because an entrepreneur nwere ike ọ bụrụ onye nọ na main market nwere ike nwee shop. An entrepreneur nwere ike ịbụ onye nwere idea, na ọ ga-asị na ọ bụ na unu nyekwanụ m ego a na m ga-eme nke a ka m wee gbawa igwe. So kedu ihe gọọmenti na-eme, and how flexible can these loans to get?
I've already explained that. I told you that this loan is very flexible because it does not require collateral. Those collaterals that make accessing of bank loans almost impossible, they are removed. That's flexibility. They are removed in our own cases, in the government of Anambra State. People can access these loans. And if you meet all the requirements, disbursement, can happen within a week. That's flexibility also. It can happen within a week. between the time you met the requirements and because there are forms you have to fill. We need to know who you are. We have to verify your claims and all that. And of course, you asked to know if there is a website. I don't have it off cuff. I'll send to you also to share. And then, of course, you can also visit the Anambra State official website. You can access much of this information in that place. Then specifically, I will connect you with the Commissioner of Industries. His name is Mr. Christian Udechukwu. He's on top of it, on top of his game. And he is looking forward to seeing entrepreneurs who want to recapitalize their business. As long as you can prove what you can do, you can access the loan. And for those who have learned one or two skills, for example, the skills you find under the one youth, two skills, we have over 40 skills that are being taught by the youth ministry. And you don't just acquire the skills, you are also giving startups in terms of, for example, if you want to go into agro-related business, you want to go into farming, any form of farming at all, you can get improve the seedlings, you can get fertilizer, you can get so much free, and of course, some kind of loan to enable you expand. If, for example, you are into poultry and you want to bring in more birds and so on and so forth, that loan is meant for businesses like that. And it's flexible because it does not require collaterals. Very, very important. And
the loan of one way interest.
Yeah, well, you want to know whether it is interest-free loan?
Benchmark na 35%.
There is no way Professor Soludo will approve a loan for the Anambra that will go beyond the single digit if there is any interest at all. Do you understand that? So you have nothing to fear from this at all.
Okay.
But it's a revolving loan. When one pays back, then others will be able to access. It's very important.
Sure.
We are not joking here. Whoever is interested in the loan should call me.
Okay.
So I can connect. Yes.
I think by the virtue and number of ndị na-esonye na watch ha inwe anwa asị ka onye ọbụla kpọba gị ma na anụ oyi agụ ya lazi ọkwụ n'ụlọ na again. So that's why I need the formal process. What you will do once you get back to the commissioner and they pay provision for this website, we can share the website. So let the process take its course.
Where is the website? I will send to you so you can share.
Yeah. Okay. So now let me come in now. At the beginning, you talked about industrial layout. Now, understanding that industrialization is a key component to economic transformation. Are there plans? You highlighted some, but in this case, I would want you to go deeper and expand, the explanation if there are industrial hub, technology parks, or special economic zone in Anambra State. I do not know. So, kedu ebedi ha imago oga abi no katambu ụfọdụ, we will come to that. Na ebuolu ndị mmadụ na atọlụ mmadụ na ebu ya baba n'ime ọfịa. Nọkịta na asị ọ dị ka mgbe anyị na-anụ na ebulu Chibok girls na ebufa jebe na Sambisa Forest. Ọtụtụ ime anyị na-asị na Sambisa Forest a ara ejezi ebe evalua factory ka I displace ya ndị bi ebe. So, thinking in line with that, you want to kick our line, dịka ebe anyị nwegasị industrial hubs, technology parks, special economic zones, onwe ebe dị etu a ka ọ dị na plan ka alụgo alụ ka na alụ alụ ka ebe anyị nọ.
I talked about AMIC, Anambra Mixed Use Industrial City, right? Its location, up n'ime ebe a na-akpọ Ogboji, right? It stretches from Oboji towards the Ogan, all in Anambra South. That is the place that has been mapped out as our industrial park, right? Our industrial park. And I'm aware that government has awarded the contract for the boulevard. The road, what government actually plans to do is to provide the basic infrastructure. The enabling amenities and facilities that would now enable the investors and the industrialists to function and thrive. That is what government wants to do. Government is not planning to build anything there beyond the water facilities, the roads, the light facility, and so on and so forth. And the provisions we have there, the provisions are quite extensive because it ranges from banking to large-scale industries, the kind of provisions we have there. Government, the thinking of the Soludo government is that if we provide this enabling environment, Igbo investors and other investors will come in. And we have started getting some people already. The last summit we had about industrialization of Anambra State, we signed a number of MOUs, and a couple of them of the MOUs have been translated to the actuals, because it's not just a matter of signing MOUs. We've seen a lot of that in the past. So we are not ready to repeat such history. What we want is, if you sign an MOU, you have to really be serious enough before we can even be dragged to that extent. Now, let me share this information also, which I think that many of us who are interested in investing in Anambra, they need to know. Yes, we have land, but you don't just access land for industrial use without showing capacity. You have to show capacity, and the capacity you show here will go beyond the money you have in the bank account. No, we want the money on the site. You need to move to site. What that means is that you will get a land, but you're not going to get any CFO until you have moved to site and done construction or building or whatever to the value of the land that you are given before you get CFO. It's born out of experience, because some people will come, take over land, collect CFO, and change the purpose clause for which the lands were allocated in the first place. So government is changing gear in that direction. We want to be sure that
it's the land that you were given. In Ekuno, Abu Nambia, Nancho Kanlua television house now.
You will be given free, but you have to really, before you get CFO, right? Before you get CFO, you will be given provisional approval to use the land. But to get CFO, you must invest to the level of the value of the land you're giving.
Okay, now Nambia na ununyem 2 acres can loan television facility, and the land is valued at 300 million. So before I get my CFO, I need the meeting go 300 million investments in there before government will now believe to grant me the CFO. I can see got here.
Basically that, yes. Okay. You just have to move to site, because some people collected land in the past and changed the purpose clause, abandon the project, use the land to even obtain loans from banks and to pursue other business interests. We understand these things. So whoever wants land should come, but you have to move to site. You move to site and develop the site to the value of the land you are given. Then you apply for CFO, you get it within 1 week.
Okay. Now, let me.
Yeah, and again, what I said about getting a COO within 1 week is also one of the measures we have put in place to ensure flexibility, to enable the ease of doing business. Anambra came first in southern Nigeria in the ease of doing business, and seventh in the whole country in the last review done by the federal government, not even by us. And one of the reasons that made us to win that position was the fact that you can get your CFO in Anambra if you meet all the requirements between 3 days and 1 week. Yes, it's a record. It's one of the measures in place to ensure that things really move.
Anyway,
in Anambra.
I am an ekwu CFO ebe ọ ya bụ na mmemmegwudi invest go na so I would go if I ekpe na aja kpo ya na block na 1 week. So okay. Okay, go. Anyway,
it's when you invest to the tone that we value to be commensurate to the value of the land you're giving. Very important.
Before I'm messing Kev, 1 week I go. Anyway, let me come to this. You know that Anambra State has a large diaspora population with significant economic influence. I mean, if not for anything, the chief of staff to the governor was a one-time mayor in the United Kingdom. So I believe there is that link. Now, what are specific efforts? What specific efforts are being made to attract diaspora investment and encourage their participation in the state development?
Many of the investors in Anambra and the Anambra that are not even based in Nigeria. So there is that loop, there is that bridge between the government of Soludo and the diaspora Anambra population. You just talked about the chief of staff, and it's not the only one. Many persons you find in the Soludo cabinet and executive council are diasporans, and they have their links. They have maintained their contacts outside Nigeria, and the governor constantly travels, and whenever he goes out, he engages the diaspora, as well as many of his commissioners and the advisors. And so we have a very healthy relationship with the Anambra diaspora, and it is never enough. We still look forward to having the likes of you come home and do more. The window is open. The door, is an open door government, open governance, so you can be part of it. And like I said, you see, when some of these ideas are translated to what we call a praxis, practical action, we expect that the Anambra should seize the moment, because like the AMIC, the Anambra Mixed Use Industrial City, it is not restricted to the Anambra. So if you find the Yorubas taking parcels of land there, or even taking it over completely, you shouldn't complain. But I believe that in the Anambra, with time, those who haven't seen the light, they will smell the coffee sooner or later.
Kedu intentions and actions by the government kedu intentions and imana onwe steeti ga-abasị gị and ebe Agụọka enyego 300 hectares of land for ndị nọ diaspora. Ọ bụ na ha chọọ ịlụ ebe ha ga retirement home, we will give you this, we will give you this, we will give you access land. Imago nekwe na ebe unu ga-abịa onye chọọ ya golu fọm ya golu ya bịa lụọ weta na ego na onye chọlụ ịmalụ. Ọ bụ na mmadụ ebigo n'unu ya 20 years n'obodo oyibo, nwere ike sị oke ngwa ọ bụ na ya remortgage take your equity bịa lụọ ebe ya nọ retirement. Onye nọ n'Awka Chijabagana, Okabukwa, or stone throw. Imogo, what I'm saying, the intention crafted by the government to drive obro investment na Enugu, whether man si diaspora or Messi or diaspora. Go. Mbekwana Anambra, I'll do the same thing. But ihe na-ekwu bụ because ọ bụrụ onye ọbụla nwe ike ịpụ on his own jebe mana ọ bụrụ na mmadụ bịa jee na Washington for instance asị na abịa nwesịa for meeting akọwasịalụ ndị mmadụ nna na-ekwe ihe unu nwekwa ike ime na ọ galọkwa ọnụ ka unu si wee chee na with $500 or $1,000 initial deposit emebekwa nke a eme nke ọzọ. So that's the intention that I'm expecting. Kedu onwelu di head etu a na-eme na ọ bụkwa na o nwere ịma na ege ebido bi ọsịsọ.
Now, when I talked about the Anambra mixed industrial city, estates are part of it. And, you know, first and foremost, I want you to know that in the Ministry of Culture, Entertainment, and Tourism, there is a director on diaspora affairs. He's the one coordinating the diaspora affairs. Okay. In the Anambra, everywhere and anywhere. There is a whole directorate, for that in Anambra state government. You'll find that in the Ministry of Culture, Entertainment, and Tourism, headed by Comrade Don Onyenchi. Any diasporan that is interested in leading the charge to develop Anambra Diaspora Estate should get in touch with us. Okay. You know why? Government is no longer interested in building and managing anything. I want us to understand this philosophy. Soludo doesn't believe in it. He doesn't believe in building what you may call public enterprise to be managed by government. Because experience has shown that government enterprises in Nigeria and in Anambra all failed. So there will be no need, there's no guarantee that building another one will not fail. But what the government wants is this, to create the enabling environment. Like I talked about the industrial park, and there is provision for estates. And I believe that you have brought this idea up now. Why don't we have Anambra Diaspora Estate? That's a big idea. And then government will not build it. Government will provide the land. And the diasporans, or even those who are interested in building it for Anambra Diaspora, will be the ones to do the construction.
Okay.
But like I told you before, no C of O until we see you at site to the value of the land that we have given you. No C of O. This is very important because it's government policy. Not my opinion. That is how government looks at some of these things.
Okay. So let's move. Let
that be taken up.
Okay.
Let that be taken up. It's a very beautiful idea.
Let's move quickly. Like you talked about public-private partnership. That is the PPP. Obviously, as all of us know, PPPs can help accelerate development. Now,
yes,
onwe ka Anambra si explore collaboration with private investors to fund specific infrastructures like housing, nke could go now, diaspora look into it, or industries. Because when you talked about the industry layout, dika or boji, just like government, welani. Imbelobazia lota ego nani enyeli, ewekuboku, ma enyezi CFO, mama enye. So that is one.
No, please. No. I told you you'll be giving provisional approval of the land, right? Okay. CFO will be given when you develop the land to the value of the land you are giving.
Land.
Very important.
Okay.
So you already have an approval to use the land. So you're getting a CFO, it's a given. We cannot say whether you'll be given or not, because you are already developing the land. And government, there is a contractual agreement here.
But I got value, not value. I got
government says that they don't want to tie down any land, and the developer will use the CFO to pursue other things. And that is just the reason why we don't give a CFO upfront.
Now,
once
quickly,
you move to site and develop, you will get your CFO.
Okay, quickly on the PPP. If you can take a minute or two on the PPP, then we'll get to something.
Yes, the one thing is this. All Soludo has done since he came in is done without a borrowing. Prudent economy management. He hasn't borrowed. In the last 34 months, he has been in power, and he's prudently managing. And of course, the PPP is even extended to what you call PPCP, private public community partnership. It's a policy. And many individuals have taken this, they have taken up this challenge. Last Christmas, Governor Soludo commissioned some roads built by individuals based on this kind of arrangement. He commissioned 1 or 2 hospitals also built by individuals. Now, where does the government come in? Government comes in, for example, the hospital that was, I can't remember the place, and I will supply you the video and everything. Government, the individual built the hospital and government equipped it. You can see the collaboration. Government equipped the hospital, even though it was built by an individual or by a community. Many communities in Anambra are undertaking many projects in a partnership with government. I just gave an example of the commissioned hospital where an individual built a hospital and government equipped it. Brought personnel that government is still paying also. So that has been one major way Soludo has been pushing and powering development in the state. And many more of that collaboration is needed. So it's good you raised it. And we look forward to seeing more of us partner with government to deal with any and every aspect of development. Because the state funds, Anambra State is not a rich state, even though we are doing big things. It's not a rich state. There is need for partnership with rich individuals, particularly in the Anambra, that are well-to-do. There is a need to bring in even organizations and companies that can partner with the state government to deal with certain aspects of development.
Imana, I've been a partnership. I won't be hench. And maybe I was thinking, Imana, Ebata, Kanwelu Ogidi, Mat. Abia n'ụzọ afọ igwe Ogidi, ọ bụ main road. Mana a na-enwezi ụzọ gbọgasịrị aka nri na aka ekpe bụ street.
Correct.
Onwe ka gọọmenti ga-esi wee partner. Let's say na ụzọ a kịta agalụ. Ọ bụrụ ite ka ụta, for instance. Ọ bụ na ụzọ a ga-eji interlock wee lụ. Onwe ka gọọmenti ga-esi partner with ndị bi ebe evu asị n'ụzọ a na ọ bụ na achọ ịlụ ya with interlock na ọ ya cost 20 million. Na ọ bụ na unu weta 10 million. Gọọmenti ya enye unu 10 million ka e wee lụọ a. Ọ dọrọ gị ka ọ bụ ihe ọ ya bụ ebido mebe. Maka na ọ bụ na
No. It's a policy that is ongoing already. And some have taken up that challenge also.
No, the formula.
That's the essence of PPCP. the government brings part of the fund, and the communities bring a part of the fund. It's a policy in this government.
Commissioner, the ones I forgo, correct me if I'm wrong. The ones I forgo, bụ na ndị mmadụ nwe ego bịa lụọ ụzọ. Anyị afụgo ya mgbe Zenko kwa nne ya. Anyị gosi ya ụzọ ọlụ. Ya nwa alụ, were aka ya lụsịa gọọmenti bịa. Ị bịa na-adazi, ịfụsịa ndị nke alụ. Ije ọzọ obodo, ịfụsị ndị nke ndị mmadụ ji aka ha wee lụ. Mana ihe a bụgasị major roads. I am talking about the inner roads. If you're saying today, because it's a challenge I'm willing to, because that's an ebonye because now watching. When Kim magazine one interest or gabo, Abuna government will meet the community halfway. Now we're turning 15, 20, or 10 million. Government will match that amount.
It is a policy. That's what I have said. And that is the meaning and the essence of a private public community partnership. There is what we now call counterpart funding, and that's what you're talking about now. Counterpart funding. Any project at all is not just a roads alone, and that is why I talked about the hospital that somebody built and government equipped. That is counterpart funding, and that is what you are also proposing. So bring it on. If you have a road like that, government will meet you halfway.
Okay. Challenging Kavu, challenging macho. I gauge in Kavu kam.
Let's take it on. Let's take it on. Yes.
Okay. Now, Biko, ihe niile anụnwa anyị na-akpa since anyị anọgo almost 45 minutes here na-akpa nkata ka ụmụnne na-ekwu ka eke ọ ga-esi wee dịla n'Igbo mma ka eke esi wee dịla Anambra mma mana ihe niile anụnwa anyị na-akpa ndị ogbo ose ọfụsara okpogole akwụ enukwu ana asị na nchịpụta ede ahụ ọkụkọ maka na a ga-alụ paak n'elu a ga-alụ industrial layout na ma ọ bụrụ na enweghị security nke a na-akpọ nchekwa ịma na ihe niile a na-ekwu nwere nke nwee isi ka anyị jekene n'isi nke bụ isiokwu bụ security na Anambra steeti. Dịka izuụka one gara aga Anambra steeti nwere lọnchị Operation Udo ga-adị anyị afụgo dịka esi wee mee mma a ga-asị na ekene onye akịdị ọgwụta ọzọ na ya ekene gwodo unu na nke unu mere eme ama na enwe ụfọdụ enwe critics here and there enwe after 2 days afọ Operation Udo ga-adị vehicle na ọ nọ na mekanik ndị mmadụ na-ajụ ọ bụ ụkwụ aka na amaghị ejije ụmụahịa o mebili emebi ka ọ bụ Photoshop nwere onye mana mkpokọta okwu niile bụ Operation Udo ga-achị anụnwa ebidogo. Biko ị nwee ike ịkọwara anyị exclusively nye anyị what is it all about? How far has it gone in sanitizing Anambra State?
Dalo, Nyabo Saturday, melie izuka na-abọ alonchelo Operation Udo ga-achị na Anambra State. And the date bụ 18th of January 2025. Operation Udo ga-achị is an operation, and Agune Chamber is a security outfit. Let me start from the law. Before now, I were even about Anambra State Vigilante Service Law 2014. It was repealed and replaced with Anambra Homeland Security Law 2025. The Homeland Law, the so comprehensive, it has taken care of everything kinetic, non-kinetic, and has also brought in what you may call crime enablers, all those things that enable crime in Anambra State. The law also deals with them. Let me mention some of those provisions so that we can understand the contemplation and the spirit of that law. First, under the old repealed law, Anambra Vigilante Group is the name, or was the name, the Anambra Vigilante Board. The new law, the homeland law, has now rechristened Anambra Vigilante Agune Chamber. This is important. So any place you hear or see Agune Chamber, it is referring to Anambra State Vigilante. That is one level. Now, Operation Udogachi is an operation. And the same way you have the military operations, the military before now was running what they call Operation Udoka. There was a time they ran Operation Python Dance, 1, 2, and perhaps 3, right? It's a similar operation, but this one is more extensive. It's not just the military. The military is part of it. Our own Agone Chamber is part of it. In fact, it's a strike force. It's a security intervention force formed by the lead 6 security agencies. One is I've mentioned our own Operation Udogachi. Then the modern security agency, which is the police force. Then the army, the Air Force, the DSS, and the civil defense. That is the 6 that have come together to form the operation. In other words, a full complement of Operation Udogachi, any team of Operation Udogachi that is complete, you will see all these security agencies represented in the team. And that is one level of it for us to understand the difference between Operation Udogachi and Agune Chamber. Agune Chamber is vigilante. Udogachi is the operation, the strike force that will deal with insecurity in Anambra State. Now, in terms of the architecture, the security architecture put in place, it's important we know that we are fully prepared, fully prepared. In terms of more boots on the ground, under the old law, I think we had a strike force of about 250 in Anambra, before now. And but now we have the Agune Chamber is made up of more than 2,000 able-bodied, trained youths who now who form that team. Now that is one level. That means we have more boots on the ground. We also have all the technology that we need. For example, we now have what you call command and control center driven by artificial intelligence. What this means is that Anambra generally is now tied up, linked up by technology. All the local government areas and major roads now have hidden cameras. We don't need to display it or even tell you where they are. But what it means is that Anambra is being watched from a central control unit, right? From a central control unit, Anambra is being watched by trained personnel. It doesn't stop there. We have also installed one of the best tracking systems you find in the country at the moment that can give you pinpoint accuracy in terms of getting information and data on things like phones used to commit the crime in Anambra State. We now have a call center. The call center works 24/7. You can try it. Call our call center, call 5111. That is 5111. And you will get attention. The intelligence you give us will be processed with utmost confidentiality so that your identity is not revealed to anybody. And if we process the intelligence and it helps in busting a major crime or criminal gang like a kidnapping gang, a camp, used by terrorists and bandits, armed robbers, and all that, you can earn up to 5 million naira for giving us such information. What that means is that the operation we have now has a component that you may call whistleblowing. And the whistleblowing is not for free. We now pay for such intel. And we are receiving information, and many of such information are actually true, and people are already getting the rewards. So we challenge those who have information to share. They have nothing to fear. The information they give us will not lead to any reprisal on their own part, because you are only helping us. You are helping us, and we don't want to blow your lead. If we blow your lead and it goes out there, many more people will no longer like to, will not like to give further information. That is one. Then I want to touch a bit on, of course, you talked about vehicles. Yes, 200 trucks are out there already working and all that. People say, that, I don't know, I've not seen anyone that is in the mechanic, but in this era of Photoshops and all that, I don't know whether it is true or not. All I know is that I see the operational vehicles all over Anambra State, and they are working. They are the vehicles that the Operation Udogachi teams are using for their operations all over Anambra State. The vehicles are in Ehiala, in Urumba, in Urumba Nasa. They're everywhere in Anambra State. So even if one or two of them has mechanical issues, that is nothing, really. It's nothing to gloat about, because I haven't seen, and I'm up and about Anambra State, and I've not seen anyone packed anywhere. So let's leave propaganda out of this and acknowledge the fact that government has acquired almost, let me not say, let me say enough vehicles, at least for the first phase of this operation. And they are already running, up and running. And government, the governor particularly, is backing them up with what you call political will, which is needed to enable this kind of operation to succeed. This is very fundamental. Then let me talk one or two aspects of the non-kinetic, right? Now, the governor has declared the amnesty. He says, look, come out of the bush, you'll be trained you'll be first rehabilitated, then trained in a skill of your choice, given a starter pack, so that you'll be able to, when I say starter pack, it depends on the kind of skill. For example, what somebody who learned mechanic would require to start will just be the tool bag. So the amount may not be as much as somebody who learned to go into animal husbandry. He needs to start up a farm, a whole piggery, anything. So it will depend. It's not fixed. It depends on what you want to really do.
Okay.
And that's very important. All they need to do is to come out of the bush, renounce what they are doing, surrender their arms, get rehabilitated, get trained, and given a skill to pursue happiness and a decent life. Okay. That is a policy now. That's not kinetic. There are crime enablers I want to also draw our attention to. Now, if you notice, a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago, I issued a press statement where I said that hotel owners, landlords, presidents general, and so on and so forth, have responsibilities under the new law. Let me start with the presidents general of our communities. First, almost it's made up of about 179 communities or a little more, depending if you are looking at, if you are counting also some of these autonomous communities as individual communities. But let's work with 179, right? It's not less than 179. It could be more. That's the point I'm making.
Yes.
The new law says that in each community, there shall be two committees, two security committees. One committee is called Management and Finance Committee. Igwe is there as the patron. PG is also a member. And of course, there are others that will be drawn, but the law says they must not be more than 50, right? In number, in constituting that, Finance and Management Committee.
Mm.
And the law further says that the committee members will now select their chairman and secretary from amongst themselves.
Mm.
The law didn't impose any leadership on them. Now, the second committee is the security operational committee in the community. The chairman must be the president general. It's not by election. The law names the incumbent president general of each community as the chairman of the operation of the security operation committee. They have to be responsible for everything security within their communities. And then, of course, in terms of, government cannot be everywhere. All government, the law is trying to do is to extend Operation Udogachi to the communities, and making the communities, giving them the power to form their own small group of Operation Udogachi. Government will train and pay 20 of them. If a town needs more than 20, they have to make efforts to increase it.
Okay.
We also expect the town to complement the efforts of the government. In terms of if government is paying, for example, if government will pay minimum wage, the law never said the town cannot pay more than 100,000 if they want.
Okay.
Do you get my point?
Yes.
But there is a baseline that government has established to enable this small operation Udogachi function in communities. In other words, all the vigilante in Anambra now are now automatically, they are now Agune Chamber. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yes, yes.
They are no longer vigilante. They are no longer, if you are vigilante in Ezinifite, it's no longer Ezinifite vigilante service. It is now Agune Chamber Ezinifite. That is what it is, because they are now recognized, they are constituted by law, and they are to work with the state Agune Chamber to ensure total security in their respective communities. This is very fundamental. Now, why I stressed this is because some don't know that we have two committees, and some are saying that the PG is an automatic chairman. In fact, for me, in fact, yesterday I attended a meeting of Association of Anambra Presidents Generals, ASATU. I was with them for over 3 hours yesterday, and I advised them, PG, face the operation that the constitution, that the law gave you. Don't go and dabble into money. Management and money. And leave money, because we want so we go and insist on managing the two. If you manage the two, the way to do in the town will abandon the whole thing to you. They will leave you to swim in your. At the end of the day, the work is not done. Do you understand that? We advise them. And, okay, you want to say something?
Yes,
now?
let me backtrack a little bit. September 2023, great minds of Igbo assembled in Imo State for the Southeast Security Summit. Resolutions were reached. I was there. The governor of Anambra State was there. Eventually, even our late brother Ifanyuba and the DG of Southeast Governors Forum, Senator Iyom Ekunife, she was there. I mean, who is who? And resolutions were reached. These informations were passed to the state governors. There was therein contained the creation of a regional security outfit codenamed Anyoha. I think Anya has security call or something like that. Now, while you were talking about Agune Chamber, in my mind, I'm thinking, fine, this is now specific for Anambra State. Where does a regional collective outfit come in? The reason why I ask this question is we have seen what is happening in Isekenesi, Osu Hitokwa, right? That the joint force from Imo State does something to take these bad guys off the bush. They run into Anambra State. Anambra State does something to, kick them in the backside. They run into Imo State. Then people like us will be thinking, if we had a joint regional security outfit, it would have been a joint operation. Wouldn't you agree that there is need for the Southeast to have a joint operation in order to secure the Southeast jointly?
Well, you nailed it. And it's unfortunate that up till now, the Southeast does not have a regional strike force. Similar to what we have in the Southwest, Amotekun, that is Southwest wide. I recall that when Amotekun was formed, the governors of that era, Southeast governors of that era, made an attempt. They gathered in Owerri, and they agreed and signed
Ebubago.
onto Ebubago. The chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum that time was Dave Umahi. And luckily, his own direct brother, either senior or junior,
senior brother, General Obi Umahi.
General Ebel Obi Umahi was made the chairman of Ebubago. I later read from the same General Ebel Obi Umahi why he had to resign. He said there was no political will
and funding.
That was how the idea of Ebubago died and fizzled out. Okay, Anyoha, it's another way of reviving that Ebubago, right? They should bring it on because people, look, these criminals are already running away from Anambra and they are running to somewhere. Yes. The question is, if the neighboring states are not doing something similar, these criminals will find safe havens in their states. This is a problem. And I believe that is the point you are making.
Exactly.
It is inevitable that the annual must be given life now. It is an idea whose time has come. You know why Ihiala has remained a recurring decimal in insecurity in Anambra? It's because it is the closest local government of Anambra to Imo.
Yeah.
There is a place you call Awo Idemili. It's about the last town of Imo State going into Anambra. And a lot of insurgency, a lot of criminality, terrorist activities have taken place around that area. So when they are pushed from Imo, they enter Anambra. You push them from Anambra, they enter Imo. So your question now is, if Anambra succeeds in pushing them away from Anambra, what is the guarantee that they will not return if Agune Chamber is disbanded? If not Agune Chamber, if Operation Udogachi is called off tomorrow, because Operation Udogachi will not last forever. Yep. What has come to stay by law is Agune Chamber, which is the name we have for our vigilante. But the Operation Udogachi is an operation, is a strike force that will be disbanded once insecurity comes down to manageable level, something Agune Chamber can now deal with. What is the guarantee that those that were flushed out of Anambra will not return with vengeance? That is your question. And my answer is that once we turn our back, they will come back. And if they will come back, something has to be done at a regional force.
And I think at this point,
something has to be done.
I think at this point, you're part of the ESCO. I think on behalf of the people of Southeast and those watching us now and those that will watch us later, we will all collectively beg you, if it means bringing 1 keg of palm wine to do that, we will. But to please speak on our behalf. Make it 2.
Make it whiskey, good whiskey.
Okay. Trust me on that. I shall do so. But on a serious note, what we are saying is that it is so obvious that what I have highlighted, if there is no joint regional effort, all the effort being made by individual states, in my view, would eventually amount to none, because these borders are fluid. Sometimes, there is no demarcation. These individuals, is basically like someone in one village, and they move in and they move out. Anyway, that aside, I come to another question based on what you said, Mr. Commissioner. There is something that has occurred, and I have read, and I want to affirm from you that hotels are required to submit data, and this data should be submitted to the PG of the community, while the PG brings that to the people in charge of data collection. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, are you not worried that data passing through President Generals, isn't that a data breach? Because the reason why I say so is, did government not think it wise to have a portal where every hotel must register, have access to, that when somebody lodges in, they input this data with NIN number. I mean, there are NIN APY calls and integrations that within a space of 72 hours, some of us can actually make that go live. That government can actually do this without physical paper really being filled, collected and taken to people with someone's NIN. Reason is, we have seen many places that people want to go and buy akara or suya, and they end up seeing their certificate or the certificate of their loved ones being used in wrapping akara. So, for me, I can see, being as someone who is who earns a living within the data industry, and I can see that this is already a data breach staring us in the face. Don't you think so?
Yep, I share your concern. No law is perfect. And during practice, laws are subjected to scrutiny and refined. And I believe that this is one area that may be, reconsidered sooner than later, because this is not the first time I'm getting this observation. Many people have called me to express similar concern that there are too many hands that the information would have to pass through, that is going to injure the hospitality industry. And again, breach data, like you said, because the law requires that a PG will submit to mayors. Mayors will now submit to state government. I believe sooner than later that will be revisited. I think so. I think so, because many people have shared that concern. No law is perfect or static. I believe that, or not just this data aspect alone, every aspect of the homeland law that requires amendment will receive attention. Luckily, Anambra State is one government, and the House of Assembly is working in perfect harmony with the executive arm. So amendment of such laws will not be a difficulty at all.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not the only person that have shared such concern. So we'll be awaiting that however the process is going to take, because as I said before, too many hands getting to see those data will lead into serious data breach that would actually jeopardize the essence. Because I saw a news earlier today on Twitter. Saw a lady found in a hotel in Abuja and while tied down. Now, imagine that is Anambra State with the current scenario. That data has not gotten to the where it ought to be. That data is still sitting somewhere. But if that data is imputed in a portal, the agencies could actually, this is room whatever, and who checked in here, sitting in their office in real time, actually check the details, NIN number, probably look into telephone number match to that and begin to do their act immediately. Anyway, that's on a final note. Now, but on another note, you said something that, regarding people reporting and being promised 5 million. How are people responding? How many people up to now? How many people up to now? Have we paid? How many millions? No, don't tell me the names, but at least tell us how many millions have they? And how are we sure that how are we sure that because you don't like Mazes, okay? Somebody will now ring, Mazes, okay, do you know that Okada that he drives? He actually kidnapped 2 people to buy it. And suddenly somebody comes in, takes me, and that's it. So how also, what are the mechanisms inbuilt to make sure? In order to make money, there are not anything. People will do a lot. Anyway,
no, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
It does not work that way. If you give us an intel, the intel is subjected to extensive investigation.
Okay.
We just have to validate your claim. Arrest will not even be made until a prima facie case is established.
Okay.
So it's not because one says, okay, bought a new car and therefore he should. No. You see, the law is very clear on this. The law talks about the property that is used for kidnapping being automatically forfeited to government. And of course, there is also the issue of unexplained wealth. At your level, your status and everything, I don't think anybody should be surprised that you bought a new car. But if a barrel pusher all of a sudden buys a G-Wagon, we are interested in knowing what happened. Honestly, we want to know precisely what happened. Things can happen. Somebody can come into sudden wealth through an honest process. You can inherit something from somebody. You can win a lottery. All the law requires is for you to show us how that happened. That's all. But if you cannot explain how the new car emerged when you are not worth it, the property will be lost to government. That is what the law says. It will be lost to government. It's an unexplained wealth. Do you get the point? So if you use proceeds of kidnapping, for example, to build or buy anything, government will also confiscate it.
Okay, I get that. Now there are 2 instances here. Yeah, there are 2 instances here. When you talked about the government taking care of houses or taking over houses that are being used for kidnapping, there are 2 cases in point here. One is the incident in Ozobo, where 2 properties were demolished, and a man who appeared to be one of the owners trying to accustom the security that he's not aware that something like this was happening in his house. Now, what are the checks and balances inbuilt in this law to ensure that if Mazezoke, as the owner of plot 1, Agunechemba Road, suddenly I rent my house to a tenant, and I took my tenant's NIN. I took my tenant's address, and I took my tenant's surety, handed it over to the mayor or the PG as requested by the state government. But I do not know what this house is being used for. Suddenly, the state finds out that 2 individuals probably have lost their lives there and that this place is being used as a kidnapper den. Does that mean that Mazezoke will lose his house? Secondly, in the case of Oba, where the owner of the property has come out to say that the so-called graves found on the 2nd floor is now fish ponds, which again, people like me will say fish pond. I don't know how we just do blocks and do fish ponds in a very large, but anyway, that's an argument. But if we look at that, don't you think, that's my second question, don't you think that the state needs more convincing to do with the people before such demolition? If I take Oba as a case in point, we saw a property being demolished. People are happy. But if you say, wait a minute, how many people were arrested there? What are their confessional statements? We did not see anybody. Why is the owner of the building talking? Why is he not in custody answering questions? Can you throw more light on these two?
Well, people say that the owner of the Oba Hotel has talked or is talking. I haven't seen him. He is in hiding. We are looking for him. If he is genuine, he should. Why can't he appear on the media?
I have actually made that. Please, I want to interview him. I want him to give us more information. Please, if you're watching, sir, please reach out.
Let him show up. You don't just find one roadside writer that claims to be a journalist and he says there's something. We know the journalists in Nigeria, we know the platforms we look forward to. Why can't he talk to any of the established media houses? Why can't he do a podcast of himself? Do you get my point? Nobody has seen him. People are just quoting something they said he said. Is he dumb now? Even if he's dumb, there are experts in sign language. Let him come out and demonstrate, and we'll get interpretation. See, listen, you are a seasoned journalist. Take a trip to Oba and ask any person in Oba about the hotel. It's one of the bad spots you have in Anambra State, that hotel. You can find out. And you see, there were things. You see, Anambra has probably more than 200 hotels. Why his own? Why? Why his own? The man is not a politician. He's not a political gladiator. So it's not, certainly not a political matter. Not that it should be. But the point I'm making is, the man should not just fly something through an unknown quantity that calls himself a journalist and expect us as a government to waste time on that. He should show up because we have a lot more we have not released. We are going to release when we see demand. That's the point I'm even making. Because you constructed a hotel, put the hotel in use, and you reserved the top floor for a fish pond, right? Or fish ponds. Look, we all know how fish ponds are constructed. You cannot pour water on that the partitionings he had there with blocks, and the water will not flow away. It will, certainly. And you want to keep fish there? How? What is the shrine doing there? Shrine is the shrine to bless the people lodging there, or what? Or to protect the fish? What are the military fatigues the bullets we found, that those things we found, that are those things meant to protect the hotel lodgers or what? There is no way the Ministry of Culture, Entertainment and Tourism that is responsible for hotels will approve that you will construct piggery on top of somebody's bed. Somebody is sleeping in room 1, and on top of the room is a fishery. No, where has that happened in the world? Is a fishery. And you know, if you go to the place where the demolition took place, you will see that the man has an ample space in the compound to construct whatever he wanted. But he decided to construct it upstairs without even making provision of how water will go from where is the what is it called, the borehole he constructed for the fish ponds? Where is it? Is he going to be bringing tanker every morning to take care of the fish the way he is claiming? And look, let me tell you, the man knows that he never planned to do any fish or piggery or snail farming in that place, because it is not in any way in tandem with hotel. Look, hotel may be privately owned, but it's a public property. It's public in the sense that you didn't build hotel for yourself, you built it for the public. And there are basic standards: hygiene, health. So the ground floor for human habitation, the first floor human habitation, the second floor for animals. That has never happened anywhere in the world, never. And if there is such a model, Anambra state government would want to see it, because we would never allow it in Anambra that you use a floor for animals, and while human beings are on other floors. We will not allow that. That you have to have a shrine in a hotel. A shrine is private. It's private. People who use your hotel, what has your shrine got to do with them? Why must you cite a shrine in a hotel that is open to the public?
Yeah, but some but some have argued that Christians do also have chapels. You know, in some, even some cited that even at the presidential villa, there are chapels and there are mosques. But I mean, it's a freedom of worship. It can, you know, if it's a hotel,
in
why can't
private house? In your in your private house, you can put your shrine or whatever. That's your own problem, right?
Yeah, but in every hotel room these days, you come in, you see them leave Bible. So if somebody leaves a feather with blood as offer for when there is Bible, and maybe another offer for those who may want to knock the offer.
No. Okay, yes. Let me give that to you. You don't conceal it at the topmost floor. You must make it available at the reception, so that who comes in and sees those things and they wouldn't want them can walk away. You don't conceal those things. You don't. Yes, because it's not about religion, about faith. It's very fundamental. If the man is honest and he believes that shrine would help his guests, help his business, help his hotel, it should not be a hidden thing. It will be down there by the reception. So whoever comes in will see the blood. If you don't agree with that, you move away. If you conceal a shrine in a place, it means that you don't want the visitors to be aware of it. It's dangerous. And it is the duty of Anambra State to ensure that such a place does not exist. And then, look, let me tell you, I already told you about the law that says that a place that is used for kidnapping will be brought down. Do you understand that? It will be brought down. That was the law that was activated because we were able to establish that indeed the place was a kidnapper's den. Period. The man should come out and prove us otherwise.
Now, would you mind, attempting the first question, which is, if a house is rented and it's being
No,
used as a den.
No, let me answer that quickly so that people can ask questions. You know, the new law imposes the duty of profiling on landlords. If you give out your facility to anybody, you better know what the person is doing. You just have to know his source of income. You need to know who the person is. Many people are criminals and fugitives. They are running away from the law in their state, and they will come, you give them your own house. He may lie to you that is not even from the state that he hails from and all that. It is your duty to ensure. And that is why people are looking for guarantors. Landlords should start looking for guarantors. You don't just give out your house to anybody that you do not know, or you do not know who knows that person very well, that knows the person to his house, to his village. That is what the law wants now. So if you give out your facility, your farmland, your house, your hotel to a criminal, and he performs criminality in your property, the property is forfeited to government. It's not only houses, even hotels. If kidnapping takes place in any hotel in Anambra now, that hotel goes down. It does not matter how big the hotel is or who owns it.
But if
so you need to know those who...
No, but if the landlord, okay, because what we are talking about now, this is a new law that is barely 2 weeks old now, right?
Yes.
So those crimes happened before the law came into effect. Now, if moving forward, I am a landlord and somebody has come in, the state requires me to get the NIN number, first name, last name, guarantor, whatever, where I work, local government, and I submit these things. Is it the duty of the landlord to now be checking on the tenant whether every month, whether he comes home, whether he keeps someone there? So where the confusion, and that's where the states...
I don't think that is the contemplation of the law. The law wants the landlord to guarantee that this is an honest citizen and that his own facility is not being used for criminal activities like kidnapping, armed robbery, and things like that. That is what the law requires. The law does not require you to live the life of your tenants for them. No, it doesn't. So if you submit all this to the government, it's now the duty of the government to vet, to be sure that the information submitted is correct.
Okay.
Now, if that the information is correct, verification will not, will be done by government. The law enforcement agencies will have to verify, just like the banks will do. The banks will want to find out if the reference forms you submitted are actually correct and all that. So there must be vetting. You can understand the spirit of the law and the intendment. The law wants criminals not to hide anywhere in Anambra. It's just simple. And the law wants the landlords to work with the government to ensure that this is not, that criminals don't hide in buildings in Anambra State. You and I know that up to 50% of the Anambra don't live in Anambra State. And many of them have mansions. Go to those mansions and find who are living there. That is a problem. I don't want to begin to mention states or, I don't want to do that. But we know, look, Mazi okay. 70% of the criminals caught in Anambra are not from Anambra State. And they live in people's houses.
Now, okay. You see,
it's a problem.
You see, what you've just said now, you are aware, on the 29th of December, family members became victims and millions lost. Just barely 9 days ago, another incident happened. I informed you about that. You are aware. Now, there is one recurring decimal. that when they were taken away, they were somewhere within Orumba. Even when they were released, one was released near Oboji, that is within that same axis. In my view, the state, we have seen 3 properties, that is 2 private properties and 1 hotel demolished. But we haven't seen those places that those that are kidnapped are taken to. We haven't seen them cleared. So in this case, is there anything delaying, or is the operation still being, I don't know, formed, or what's happening? Because the place is demolished. I mean, we have less cases of people being kept in houses and hotels, but more cases of people being kept in quasi bushes. So why do we then have cases of more demolition and less where the real action are basically happening? Is there anything that is still, coming up, or, and actually
the Operation Udogachi teams are in the bushes now.
Okay.
They are in our forest now. They are.
Okay. In this
They
case,
are. And
I will make.
we are not making noise about it. We don't want to. We want to possibly have them taken out or apprehended. We don't want them to run away just like that.
And as part
so
of,
let the results speak.
You know that.
And I'm not sure. Are you aware of what happened in Iseke today? I'll send you videos.
Please do, by all means. And it falls into the next thing I want to say to you, and that's a plea to you specifically. Because this information dissemination falls under your forte, I would suggest and I would beg that the team that does this operation must have and should have professional cameramen in there for through documentation purposes, in order for the citizens to make
that has been. I have attached a team from ABS to Operation Udogachi.
Okay, so we'll be getting more clearer vision, visuals and all whatnot.
Okay. Even before demolition takes place, they will do proper documentation.
Press conference.
That is before and after. And the Operation Udogachi also has public affairs unit, which I may end up heading myself, so that periodically I can, call a press conferences.
Okay. So at this juncture, people, it's been a very nice and enlightening conversation. My guest up to now have been the Commissioner for Information of Anambra State, that is Dr. Law Mefor. Please, for those of you wanting to ask questions, I think Prince Chris Azo want to ask a question. Please, Prince, can you please quickly ask your question? And if you want to ask your question, please, can you also raise your hand? Prince, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Good evening, Anwe Yago. And
good evening, sir.
The anchor. I learned you were an Anambra diaspora. That is good to hear. So I've been itching to at least make some contributions and ask questions that I prepared to ask. One is, I'm addressing Mr. Commissioner now. On this issue of security, Agune Chamber and Udogachi, there is an addition to one of the strategies, and it was called the whistleblower policy.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
Because actually, I'm the chairman Anambra Civil Society Network and co-chair Open Government Partnership. That's a partnership with the citizens and the government of Anambra State. So I'm speaking from the point of the citizen representation and the civil society. The idea of this whistleblower policy is not very clear, because a policy should be documented. So if you have a whistleblower policy where people can freely give you information, there should be a document stating the strategies, having a content, protecting even the whistleblowers themselves. Having an instrument to actually gauge, just like the anchor has said now, but we do not have any document. And I tell you something, Anambra State government needs to have a document on whistleblowing. So you operate it from the point of view of policy. It's not a knee-jerk thing that, okay, you put it, you add it there. Now, it is not even clear at all. How do you protect the people giving you information? How convinced are they? Where is the conviction that you protect them and protect the information they give you and others? So I think I've said that. Then again, we are a bit worried. In fact, let me even thank Mr. Governor. In fact, Anambra State is clear that we are a big construction site. We give him kudos for that. And he's living to his promise because he said he was going to declare a state of emergency on infrastructure, especially roads. He's doing that. But the other side of human development, we see a lacuna, is in terms of counterpart funding. The anchor said something like that initially, but, he left it not properly attended to. The problem we are having in Anambra is that we are losing development partnership. The idea is that I think Mr. Governor, with all due respect, is fixated on, infrastructure. But areas of productivity, like in the health sector, when you find development partners coming in and the counterpart funding obligations are not being met by the states, some of them tend to, chicken out and are discouraged. It happens in the health sector I've mentioned. It happens heavily in the agricultural sector. The one that pains us in the agricultural sector is that this is an area you have the capacity to bring in the youth. Then again, some other areas we want to talk about is this One Youth, Two Skills program. I know at the first stretch, about 5,000 youth were empowered, but up to today, we have not seen any monitoring evaluation mechanism. I'm not sure the state government can beat their chest and say that this is how far the youth have been doing, the progress they have made. And we're worried that we even engaged one of the commissioners in recent past. He said that once the state gives a grant, they don't care about what you do with it. And I think it's not correct. Because for us in the civil society, we get grants. And sometimes we keep the documents for 5 years. You said at some point, after 4 years, came back to ask us, how are you faring? It's a grant, yes. But you need to know the progress those people are making. Then finally, sir, about this, what's it called now? It was started under Obiano. The community choose a project. When Mr. Governor came, he said he was going to even add to it from 20 million to 25 million. Feelers we are getting is that nothing has been done in that area. And this is a program that actually empowered the communities with infrastructure.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you.
Then finally, sir, social protection is what the governor said. Sorry, sir, just 1 minute, one second. Social protection has not been activated. Social protection is how you take care of the poor, the vulnerable in society. There is no documentation, but development partners have come to this state to support, I'm sure of UNICEF, to support this state, to have a social protection policy. It has not been done, and we are worried. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, those are loaded questions. I do not know how you want to take them, but quickly, because we have more people raising their hands. If you may just quickly
I don't know what he means by government not paying sufficient attention to human capital development. That is not correct. And he was talking about health, and I believe that health may be one area that has received the greatest attention in government. When Soludo came in, For the first time in the history of Anambra State and beyond, he employed 1,000 health professionals, 1,000 medical doctors, pharmacists, laboratory scientists, nurses. For God's sake, that is human capital. And when he talks about he talked about health not receiving attention, it's not quite correct. Soludo has constructed 5 new general hospitals, not ordinary hospitals, general hospitals. There is no political ward, the 326 of them in Anambra State, that does not have a health center. Soludo has started the telemedicine to ensure that no person in Anambra is without a doctor, because through the telemedicine, what that simply means is that diagnosis and prescriptions and whatever you need to do with the doctor can be done through internet. It's going on now, and the existing general hospitals, he has reconstructed 3, making it 8. That is attention given to healthcare delivery in Anambra. In fact, to show that Anambra is doing very, very well, there was a peer review done in December for the whole country, 36 states of Nigeria, and the FCT, making them 37. Anambra came first in the Southeast zone in primary health delivery, came first also overall in the whole country. That is self-evident that Anambra is doing something significant in the area of health. I just gave instances to show that many of the claims he has here are not quite correct. And he also talked about the one youth, 2 skills not being followed up. And in fact, I think it is important I bring Patrick Agamba, the Commissioner of Youth, to you to tell you what he has done in the youth ministry. He has trained up to 10,000 youths. The second batch now will take the number even further. You know, what are we doing there? I told you as many as 40 skills ranging from agro industry to ICT are being processed. And we are aware, the records are there. We know those who have benefited. I have attended programs. Let me tell you, the day on the 18th of January 2025, when Governor Soludo launched the Agune Chamber and signed into law the Homeland Security, more than what figure can I really give? Because more than 70% of the people that attended that program, you can see the video, they even wore the youth one youth 2 skill t-shirts. They were more than 3,000. Meanwhile, he's saying that we have no records of these people and we are not following up. We don't know how far they are doing and all. It's not true. If we don't have their records and we are not following up, how come they are attending our programs in that number, identifying with the government and identifying with the program? Many of them have even become employers of labor. You know, so I don't know where to start, you know, but I know that there is always room for improvement, but we should not deny the things that are done that can be verified. We shouldn't deny them. The easiest way to lose an argument is to argue against data and statistics. Like I have talked about, I'll give you the video of the people you will see for yourself. You will see them in uniform, you know, putting on the one you 2 skills, face caps and the t-shirts. You will see them in their thousands at the conference center, Anambra International Convention Center. Please, please, my brother, just 1 minute. I am giving him and his team an invitation. Let them come to my office and let me take them round.
Mr.
Let
Commissioner.
them come. them down. I want to take them to the Commissioner of Youth and to any other person that they would want to see to verify some of the things they think are not working well.
Mr. Commissioner, when I've listened to your response and listening to his questions, because from the comment section, he has a mirage of questions that he's thrown up. I think here is where interface is mostly needed. He has shared his contact details in the comment section. I would oblige, and I will share that with you as well to ensure that
thank you.
You reach out, and also maybe that could be an opportunity for you to interface with the wider civil society as well. Because when I take,
I've given them numerous invitations. I've told them two things. I have invited them, asked them to come, let us talk, or they should tell me where they meet so that I belong to the civil society. You know this?
Yes.
So why are they running away? Why are they running away from me? I have pleaded with them, come to me, or tell me when you would have your next meeting. I will come.
Commissioner,
maybe I'm saying it again, it's open.
Maybe
they are running to see them. Let us talk.
Maybe they are running away. You know that the fuel is now costly, and maybe
or they believe I have crossed. They believe I have crossed to the other side. Is it not?
Let me not let me not say more than this. Anyway, we're going to take another question from Festus Udechukwu. Festus, quickly, make it quickly, and make it very quick and snappy so that we can round up quickly.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Go ahead.
Honorable Commissioner, good evening. Our Chancellor.
What's the Chancellor? Always the Chancellor.
So, go ahead, please. Go ahead with your question on them.
Yeah, number one is just a comment, which is to congratulate the Honorable Commissioner for a job well done. What you are seeing, what you are hearing today. I'm actually not from Anambra, but I lived most of my life in Anambra, and I've always been part of whatever they are doing. So, the day we engaged our own commissioner, if I tell you how the whole thing went, that's why I'm giving him kudos, because of how he has taken time to answer questions, sell his government, sell the program of his government to the people. Not just saying you in street trading, you went to Lagos, you gave money out. Who are the people you gave money? Basically, your startup is because you are from a different political party. This one, that one, that one. Who told you we are from different parties? We are just talking about how things will work better. Look at the issue of this land. The land is talking about how and the rules. Community can partner with government. Individuals can partner with government. And so many other things, which is at least one thing that is making us know that at least your governor and yourself and all the other your team, they are enlightened enough to lead. So I'm so happy that you are saying all that you are saying. So and I wish
you've exhausted your 1 minute.
The other man took
Thank you, 5 minutes.
It's okay, no problem.
Thank you very much.
Okay, my dear.
Well, that's the much we can take, people. It's been an enlightening conversation, like I said before. That's been a one-on-one conversation with Dr. Law Mefor on the series by Injanje Media TV on the state of the Igbo nation. We'll keep bringing people here because it's about an Igbo. Ọ gwara maka ọdịmma an Igbo ka anyị ji akpa nkata mgbe niile. Maka na asị na ọbala isi ọbala agụba. Dịka anyị si gba ọsọ. Ụfọdụ ndị gba ọsọ, ụfọdụ ndị ka na ya. Mana kọmishọna asị na ọlị ọjị kpara ọjị nkụ na ara arị ọjị kwada. Ofu ajụjụ m ma ajụ ebife bụ na mgbe ebulu ụmụ nwanne m ha kpọrọ 5111 and as a testament ndị mmadụ za ha and they reported the crime. Ulu mgbe release kwa ha gwa m ha kpọkwa maka na asị na o jebele ejebe ka ala eze a naba ya ka kwọli ya bụ eze ka ọ ghara ịbụ mmadụ na ozie na biya abịa bulu ya sị na a na-atara aka ya wee fụkwa foonu ya n'aka ya so nsị ya biko gwakwa ha na arapigo mana having said that ego ewelu na akaụntụ fa which was electronically done up to today ego gbara ọkpụrụkpụ dara ụda maka na ọ bụrụ na ụdị ego obodo a na-ekwu okwu ka ya lụwazie ụzọ Anambra weta onev na ọkwa na ego anyị na-akwadobe ọ bụrụ na ewe ka anyị na Anambra wee lụba ụzọ so kedu ka gọọmenti ga-esi nye aka ọ bụrụ sọsọ na ebuelu mmadụ kwụọ ụgwọ mana ọ bụrụ na abịa welu bulu mmadụ nakọli ego niile dị na akaụntụ sọsọ ihe gọọmenti na-alụ ọ bụ nọọ ka aje kwatuo unu ma ọ jee ebe ha nọ n'ime ọfịa onwezi this law and Agụna Chamber and Udogachi o nwere ka ọlụ ha si wee lue na inye aka fụ na ọ bụ na ezu ego ori site na mbulu na a ga-enyekwa aka ka amalụ ma nwee etu a esi wee napụtakwa ya bụ ego a ewere.
Very important question. If you may, one of them ka ugbu a ka o esi wee raise petition. Ka anyị weli elu ọlụ. I need the details. Ma gwa anyị etu o esi wee die, o dee ya onye mmie, I'll process it.
Okay. Ịmakwa na Chukwumebel na nkata anyị na-akpagakwa n'iru akwụkwọ ịma na ọ bụla ebe a na-eme miracle a sị na ma ọ bụ na Chukwu gwakwa ọghọ ya mbọsọ gwakwa ọghọ ya gị bịa gwakwafa na agwago gị ọya so Chukwumebel bọsọ ya agwa ya bụ ọya anyị ya pụtakwu sikwa nekwono na Anambra mekwa ọkafafu na agwụgwụkwọ ya bụ ọya na onye ya bụ onye ngwọrọ ọ gaba gị ije
enwe ike tinye fada ife na boot.
ọ bụ ma nke a na anyị ma ife fada na-eri ọ gafere whisky anụ ya go
we'll do our best. Yeah, it's
been a wonderful conversation. I must say thank you very much for being part of this. As usual here, we normally end the live streamings. When we do, we would allow a couple of minutes for those of us in this room to interact as someone just for 5 minutes. On that note, those of you watching online, I say to you, thank you very much for joining us. It has been a wonderful time with us here. Join us next week, Sunday, for another edition of the State of the Igbo Nation, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time. Now, if you're watching us online and you haven't subscribed to Njenje Media TV, you're missing out. Please do us a favor, share this link, share this video, and do not forget to subscribe.